Hello everyone, this is Garrett, and this is Serious Sam 2. We are about to do level 24, Greendale, starting off the new episode,
Boys, that's enough. Is that all you can think about?
But it's the Galaxy Cup Finals!
Can anything be more serious than saving the universe? We must contact him now.
Who won? Who won?
Is that all you can think about?
Yeah, what could be more serious than saving the universe?
Yeah, right. Sam, you must retrieve the last part of the medallion. Elenir, home of Elvians, peaceful and noble race. They successfully guarded the medallion until Cecil the Dragon came and took it.
Your task is simple. Find Cecil, get rid of him. And take the medallion, finally proving you are the one.
You will start at the top of the Heartbreak Mountain. There is a small village underneath. We heard the dragon comes there once a month to collect a fee.
That will be your chance to meet Cecil head to head.
And now we are in the land of green pastures and whatnot, and naturally that means that everything's kind of broken. But first of all, we're gonna sit on this cannon, or we're gonna lie on top of it rather. Gonna shoot a bunch of these boxes over here, because they contain a lot of stuff, and we're stuck here for now, so we're just gonna sort of enjoy the environment. It does look very nice, but unfortunately, it does try to ruin our lovely views using a bunch of helicopters. But we have two cannons, which insta-kill all of these if you hit. It is kind of tricky to hit with these things, but if you just shoot slightly in front of whatever you're trying to shoot at, usually you'll hit them. Shooting the actual individual rockets can be pretty tricky, but you really don't need to because there's not that many helicopters coming our way. As you can see, I am shooting like someone who is incapable of doing any aiming, and we only lost 100 health on our cannon. It can be a little bit tricky to run away from that cannon afterwards sometimes. It can just block your path entirely, but we had no such issues. Also, I destroyed the boxes to get this shotgun over here, and now I can go downstairs to get another one in case you missed that one. And while we're here, we might as well destroy some spiders. We finally get a chance to use the chainsaw because these guys all die pretty quickly, usually. And if you just sort of stand over here, they usually just walk right into your chainsaw because they're not the smartest. There's also a spider in there.
Double the gun, double the fun.
But it's no problem. And yeah, we're just gonna keep moving. Our health is looking pretty good and our armor's looking pretty good, so we're just gonna go downstairs, grab some ammo. Probably gonna be full on ammo for that gun soon. And now we get a proper view of the area. Now the moment we step onto this platform, and I'm gonna quick save because I would get bored otherwise. The moment we step down on this platform, it will start going down.
Give a man a bullet and he'll want a gun. Give a man a gun and he'll be giving away the bullets.
And if you keep standing on that platform, it is currently surrounded by invisible walls, so you would not be able to do anything. But we can actually just jump down after lowering the platform. And if we wanted, we could jump down there, but we'd skip a trigger. And doing so would be a problem. It would stop one key from spawning, which you need for that door. And without that key, you're not really going anywhere. But we are capable of going down here quicker, but like, it really doesn't make any difference. The only difference is that you have to wait longer for this platform to go down. You can also stand down there if you want, but it's kind of pointless because you just get stuck forever. But it's just really boring to stand on that platform because you really cannot move until like the very last moment. Also, there's some new enemies here. There's a bunch of centaurs with bows. They do a little bit of damage, but considering we're going to spend most of this level in a vehicle, it is not a problem at all. This vehicle, by the way, is incredibly powerful, and we're just going to kill everything with it. And the first secret area is to the left over here. If you do not want all secret areas, just forget about this. Also, the level estimate for this level is like 40 minutes. We're not going to spend 40 minutes in this level. We're going to spend maybe like 15 or something around that time, because this is actually a really short level. And the secret area is over here. And this vehicle is basically just a better version of the UFO. You can just sort of crash into anything, and they'll usually just die. And that includes the bulls, and usually the bulls don't even damage you because their attack is just completely melee based, but their hitboxes for their attack is just smaller than the hitboxes for our body or something. I don't know. But either way, they are just completely incapable of doing virtually anything to this machine, which is kind of ridiculous. It's a bit silly, honestly, but I'm not going to stop him. Also, there's some points over there which are kind of tricky to get, and it's also pointless to get points, but whatever. You know, this is the thing you can do. I figured there'd be more bulls, but I guess we killed them all. Also, there's a bunch of cannons shooting at us in these levels, and these cannons have ridiculous range. The moment they spawn, they will start shooting, and just regardless of where you are, they will try to hit you, and those cannonballs can reach long distances, so you do want to kill all of those, otherwise you might get in trouble. And now that we've done all that, we can move forward in this direction. We can actually just skip all of these guys, I think. I don't think you actually need to kill all of them. What you really just need to focus on is killing the helicopters and just getting the key in the end. It is a little bit tricky to kill the helicopters sometimes, especially since the grass can make it really hard to actually see what's going on. And also, it's very likely you're just going to be attacking the ground as you are moving in certain directions. Like, very often one of the cannons will be blocked off by the floor because this place is very hillish. There's a lot of hills everywhere, and it's a problem. But we are in a virtually indestructible death machine, so we really don't have much to worry about. And even if you are having difficulty, there's a second one over there. So even if you somehow manage to get this thing destroyed, there is a second one which is exactly the same, slightly further ahead. And really all you have to do to kill everything here, you could probably kill everything here by just moving. You probably don't even need to fire. But, you know, it does get the job done a little bit quicker, and the helicopters are usually kind of hard to hit with a melee attack, so we're just going to do it like this. This dude has a key. Again, the NPCs only get attacked by the enemies if they are attacking themselves. So this guy doesn't have a gun, so he never gets attacked pretty much unless he's just in the way. And he's also suffering from the invisible wall curse. He cannot go through invisible walls, and neither can we. Which is good, because the moment you touch the water here, you instantly die. Which, I'm not really sure why that happens, but it's just a thing that happens. Well, I have a reasonable idea why it happens, but it is just a bit silly. Also, the water looks really weird here for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But after picking up the key, it spawns a whole bunch more stuff. It spawns some of the bombers, which are not really our main problem. The main problem is those rocket dudes and the cannons. And there's some bulls here which stop your projectiles from firing at the enemy sometimes. And honestly, that's all the bulls really do. Most of this level is just going to be spent in these vehicles because there's quite a lot of them, honestly. And there is really just no reason not to use them. So I'm just going to keep shooting them. Try not to get hit by that thing. Try to kill these bulls with the cannonballs that are being shot. But these bulls are just spawning right here, and I think we're even faster than the bulls as well. So even if they could hit us, we can very easily avoid them. I just got hit by a cannonball, and it honestly doesn't even matter all that much. That's just how powerful this thing is. The fact that this thing has 500 health is quite frankly ridiculous, but it helps our case. It helps us survive, I guess. So we're just gonna hang out here. We could probably actually just continue onwards, but eh. It's a little bit safer to actually just kill everything in case stuff does end up coming from the back. So you might as well. It's not like it takes very long to kill these things anyway. And, oh, there's still a bull stuck here. I thought there was another bull somewhere, but there we go. Get over here, little doggy. Boing. Also, if you jump with this thing, that's you don't want to jump ever, actually. Like, jumping just somehow gets you hit more often than when you don't jump, and I'm not really sure why. But moving on, there's a rocket launcher over here. And there's a couple of doors. Usually, sometimes you can get things stuck in between these doors and it looks kind of hilarious, but that time it was just not to be. I'm just going to grab all this stuff and we're going to move on. There is this little dude over here.
This idea didn't cross my mind.
His legs go pretty wiggly, which is pretty great. You can also get him impaled. That was not quite the impalement I was hoping for. Sometimes he just gets completely pushed into the floor, which looks a little bit more hilarious, but what are we gonna do? Now, this is a drawbridge. You can press this button to draw it. There was usually an arm in here which stops it from going, but once you remove the arm and put it wherever else you want, the thing will just keep working, so that's fine. You can also just jump up like this, and if you jump correctly, which I'm just gonna quick save and try and do, it is possible to get over there if you bounce off of this thing correctly, and most likely I'm just gonna die the first time I try this, but yeah, that's what happens when you fail it. You just die. But there we go. We managed to jump on this side. You know what that means? Nothing. This thing's locked. There's actually another trigger which actually unlocks this door, but this thing closes behind you and pushes this thing down. Which is kind of weird, because this thing only closes again if you skip the trigger to open this door. After you, like, have this door be openable, you can't actually not close this gate anymore. It just gets you stuck forever. It's really weird. But there we go. We're just gonna ignore that's the thing. We're just gonna have our friend over here. We're just gonna pull this drawbridge down. And we're gonna stand over here. This is a magical place. Like standing, it's kind of on the side here. Sort of in the middle. And the reason why this is magical is because I'm gonna crouch and I'm gonna aim upwards. And I'm not really sure why this works, but it does. And it's pretty fantastic, honestly. It's one of the few times we properly get to use this particular weapon due to the fact that the enemies just, they're not great right now. They've seen better days. They've had better successes. Even the ranged attacks usually all just end up missing, but it's kind of silly. But if you don't want to do it like that, you can also just quite easily just kite them around here, honestly. They're not that much of a problem if you just know where they are. They do all spawn from the same area, so if you do it right, they will just all be at around the same area all at the same time. And if you just sort of run in circles, they usually won't hit you. You usually won't be in any real issue of any real dangers, any real scariness. Though every now and then they can catch you by surprise. You know how it is. Enemies are pretty scary. I do think the enemies sometimes hit each other as well. Not only with even the ranged attacks, but also just by running into each other, which I'm not sure if that's actually true, but it does seem like they die occasionally, and I could never really tell why. But anyway, after killing all the footballers, we kill that guy. And we try to avoid that guy. You could probably kill that one, but I can't really be bothered. And there's a sniper rifle!
Long-range weapon for a long-term relationship.
And this thing's pretty cool. And like I said, this gate's just not closing anymore now. We're probably not going to be using the sniper rifle on this level, but we got one now, so that's cool. And we're in this large open area now. We probably should have taken our little Gnar friend with us. You can actually get him stuck inside this door, but just take my word for it. We're going to go to the right, and we're going to hug the wall while doing so. There's a reason for that. Obviously, there always is a reason for all of my ridiculous actions. There's an invisible wall here. It's quite big. It's unnecessarily big, in fact, but we're just gonna grab this.
Secret ammo pack has been located.
Because it's a secret ammo pack, and we're gonna continue hugging the wall. Right now, there's a lot of enemies spawning all simultaneously, and it's a bit of a problem. But fortunately, we have ways to deal with problems, one of which is throwing grenades in this direction. Because there's also a lot of enemies over there. A lot of spiders spawning. But we don't care about those. We're just gonna ignore the fact that they exist. Again, there's a reason for all of this. because we're gonna go over here, we're gonna crouch under this right here. You don't need to do that, but it's a way you can choose. And there is
You have found a secret area.
another secret area. And you can probably already guess what is over here. There's another vehicle. I don't know why there's so many vehicles in this level, but there are. And it's good, because it makes this level a complete joke. Because otherwise this level could actually be pretty tricky. There's actually large amounts of enemies in this level. Also, there's a scarecrow over here, which looks pretty cool. He's like a suitcase full of money. If you destroy him, he explodes in a cash apocalypse, or whatever that's called. Anyway, like I said, there were a lot of enemies spawning. There is a bunch of spiders all over the place. There is a bunch of these guys. And there is a pretty large array of footballers. The spiders don't really do anything to us, because we move too fast for them to hit us. These guys don't really do anything to us because we move too fast to hit us. And the footballers don't really do anything to us because we move too fast for them to hit us. So, yeah, they're really not an issue. There is now kind of an impasse on what I have to do now, though, because I can't actually just leave the level right now. There is actually no real reason to kill these guys, because the level X is actually just completely open. There's a lot of enemies we can just kill if we want to. There's a lot of enemies we can skip, but in the end, it's all gonna come down to, do I really want to spend another, like, 5 minutes running around with this machine and just killing everyone? And I kind of don't, so I'm just gonna grab this.
Secret health has been collected.
And I'm actually just gonna leave, because the main difference between not doing that is that it's literally just me going in circles for another 5 minutes or so. You also exit the level by just killing enough enemies in this general area.
Yet another chance for a good deed. Throw all scum out of the village.
Because like she says, they want you to throw all the scum out of the village. That's actually kind of a lie, because you don't even need to kill everything to get the level to just end. Like, if you kill enough enemies, the level just sort of stops. You just leave the level and you get a little exit cutscene and all that. But for one, there's a bunch of enemies over here. Like, there's 2 of those giant spider enemies, which you don't even need to kill. Like, you can just beat the level without ever even entering this area. But there's 2 giant spiders over here. And they're kind of annoying, I guess. But, again, we can't just leave, and I am just going to do that, because I don't want to spend another 5 minutes in this level just running around. Here's the level exit for some reason, and I don't know why.
Ooh, cool out!
I don't know what word he said at the end there, but it probably wasn't very nice. But yeah, that was level 24. It could be more interesting. Like, there's a couple areas you can actually reach that are behind invisible walls, but they usually don't really lead to anything interesting. You can fight all those enemies, but it doesn't add a whole bunch, honestly, and it's just boring. There's a couple of power-ups in the village itself, which are kind of useful. There's a couple more ammo power-ups, like the backpacks, which I skipped, but our ammo is already pretty high, like, for all of our weapons, so there's really no reason to get any of those either. And while I could have spent another 5 minutes or so just flying in circles with that machine, I would just very slowly be killing everything, and there would be a bunch of headless kamikazes, there'd be albinos, there'd be one of each, but nothing really that we haven't seen before, and I just don't think it would be very interesting to watch. And even then, it wouldn't take 40 minutes, it would be like 20 at most. I don't know what that estimate time is all about, but whatever. Either way, that is the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it so far. The next time we play, we are going to do level 25, which I have forgotten the name of as per usual. And I hope to see you there. Bye-bye.